Wonderful, welcome to another Media Friday here on the Funky Pod, all things media. It's already been another week, so let's just look back into what happened in the media, what are things that we should discuss, things that we should know, things that we should be concerned about. You see me stuttering and not knowing how to start, as always, because nothing changed. Myanmar is still happening. It's getting worse and worse, actually. Now the Myanmar junta introduced martial law, declared martial law officially now. Not that it wasn't something like martial law before, but now they're officially under martial law. More journalists are in jail now for reporting on the protests. This past week there's been the news or the story going viral or becoming kind of a thing around the area here, at least, that a former pageant queen now sides with the ethnic armies that are opposing the military. So you can see her, a former pageant participant, holding a gun and saying like she's fighting for what's right. While I appreciate, obviously, the people standing up, I'm not sure what kind of picture that sends, but then again, desperate times, it seems. So I'm not saying, hey, go out, get weapons and start shooting people, obviously not. But it seems like they're at a very tough point, maybe even a breaking point right now, when people maybe see taking up arms against the government as their last option. So, wow, ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, what's happening? Anything? United Nations, world, anything? Just like, I'm not sure if you can see my background, but I have the three wise monkeys here, so it's more like this right now, right? It's really tough, and as if this wasn't enough trouble on a big scale. Now we talked about it last week, the trouble in Jerusalem or in Israel. And now things, and you've heard of it probably, things are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So, and of course, social media Friday, right? Social media plays a huge part of it. So you can see like lots of posts on social media from Israelis just highlighting how the airstrikes are coming towards Israel, of course. But then Israel has like the what's it called, the Tower of Iron Tower or something that, of course, shoots down all those missiles. And then you can see also video footage on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and so on, from Palestinians, then showing like how the airstrikes then hit Palestine and how people are dying. Apparently, I think what I read this morning, 65 people died, 17 children. That's the number that I saw this morning. If you know different numbers, please shout out. Which is, of course, insane. And I mean, I don't want to make this like a pro-Palestine, free Palestine podcast or anything, of course. And it's also not a pro-Israel podcast or anything like this. And I watched, for the first time in ages, I watched Trevor Noah again yesterday. And he talked about it's hard to find the truth because this conflict just goes back and back and back and back. Like, who started it? How did it start? And you could say it started after the Second World War and so on. But then, I mean, who threw the first stone? And it's just really hard to find the actual like perpetrator, so to speak. However, Trevor Noah made a good point that I somewhat also agree with. He said, like, if you are the stronger, like he drew a comparison to him growing up with a younger brother. It's like, I was a teenager, my brother was like little, like 5 years old or whatever. Then he would try to annoy me and he tried to punch me or kick me or something. And then if I would retaliate and kick him and punch him too, my mom would be angry at me. She's like, Trevor, like to him, you're so much older than him, so much stronger. Like, you can crush him. Like, why would you do that? And then Trevor said, like, yeah, but he's annoying me. And his mom would say, yeah, sure, but you're so much stronger, they shouldn't even face you. You're so much bigger, stronger, more successful, you have more to show for right now. Like, why would you want to crush him? And that's also like a point that he then tries to make of Israel versus Palestine. Like, of course, like and again, not making a point for Hamas or anything. I think they should definitely also find a different way to approach things. But if Hamas sends rockets to Israel, we hope nothing happens. But Israel says about themselves we take down those rockets with our iron tower or whatever, then. But if they send rockets to Gaza, to Palestine, they don't do this, so the rockets actually hit. And that's why you can see that people die there. So should like the stronger part, who clearly has the upper hand in everything, retaliate in such a manner, or just like act in such a manner? It's a tough question. And again, it's not a political podcast. I sympathize very much with like everybody who's like in there right now. I follow lots of Palestine-related accounts on Instagram, not because of politics, but simply because those people are very interesting people, like photographers and so on, and they just share like all the content right now. It's just very dramatic. To be fair, I might be biased there because I don't follow that many people from Israel, so it's just how my feed looks right now. And again, I'm not making this like an Israel versus Palestine thing here. I'm just saying it's tough. And I just saw a post from one of my friends on Facebook, and she said, as an outsider, you don't really know what's going on. You don't know like what started it and how do people feel and so on. And that's why maybe sometimes outsiders just shouldn't say anything, or they just make it worse. And I know what she's saying, but should we from the outside just shut up and not think about it and just don't have opinions on it? Does that help anyone? I don't know. It's similar to the thinking here in Myanmar right now, right? It's like the other nations in ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, like our United Nations, our European Union basically here, similar to that. And they all say, yeah, they have to handle this by themselves. So we don't look at what they do inside the country. That's because they know better. Yeah, do they? I mean, I think it's worth talking about it. I think it's also worth looking in like how media is being used. I mean, that's the main reason why I mentioned this here as well, because you can obviously see what I just said, right? I said about myself, I'm biased, kind of. I know I shouldn't be, so that's why I can say, hey, I don't want to make this a political thing. But I know that I see primarily Palestine-friendly content. People are siding with Palestinians. So that's why my point of view goes in that direction. But I know that, so I can say, okay, wait, I need to watch or consume other content as well, of course. But you can see that the content on TikTok, for example, this Palestine-Israel thing is huge on TikTok right now. That this, of course, also fuels it, because then in Israel you see how like Palestinians, freedom fighters or whatever you want to call them, how they then, I don't know, assault Israeli police. But in Palestine, you see how like Israeli police officers stormed the mosque, of course, for example. And you're like, what the hell? Yeah, during Eid, like what the hell? So media in this case, of course, is super difficult to consume, because of course it drives the narrative, and the media platforms themselves, they don't want to fix it, right? They're like, hey, right now we're getting all the interaction, the engagement, awesome for us. So it's a tough spot to be in. I think it's a very tough spot to be in. Maybe that's a topic that we should discuss in like a Clubhouse session or something. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts, like civil, please. Again, not making this a pro-Israel, pro-Palestine thing. Just really curious, like, what are your thoughts? Yeah. How do we go from here to Kendall Jenner? We can't. Let's just go with Kendall. Kendall Jenner has been in the news. Oh my God, I know you're saying, oh my God, finally some Kendall Jenner news. And I mentioned this because I very much feel for her. So I didn't want to make this a political thing, but let's make it a Kendall Jenner thing. It's thoughts and prayers to Kendall Jenner, because Kendall Jenner came out in an interview and she said, well, she realizes that her relationship with social media is quite addictive. No way. And she said, and I quote, "My relationship with social media is a bit addictive right now, which I don't like. And I'm not proud to say that." Kendall Jenner, addicted to social media? Bum, 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 bum. I need an editor here for the podcast. I need those sound effects. She continues, though. She says, "But I also feel like that's something that probably most of us can relate to. So social media users who read the interview on social media are addicted to social media." Bum, 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 bum. Kendall Jenner dropping wisdom, words of wisdom here, like, whew. Then, now, the favorite part of the quote, something that boils my blood, she says, that really frustrates me and I think upsets me the most is when it's someone claiming a false narrative for me. The internet, I guess, basically thinks of such small moments with no context. So you're saying the internet, people in the internet judge you based on what they see of you on the internet? Let's take a deep breath and just, wow, those are words of wisdom. And she finishes the whole thing by saying, I don't like that. I don't like that I feel the need to have social media in the first place. Again, I don't like that I feel the need to have social media in the first place. Says the person that got famous and made all her money thanks to social media. Did you hear? Bum, bum, bum. Hypocrite? You know what I mean. Incoming. Like, what in the world is she thinking? Like, yeah, it's all true, but you're a social media star. You make millions, billions, I don't know, gazillions of money thanks to social media. And now you're complaining that people think what they see in social media is true? 90% of what's been posted on social media about you is what you put out. 10% what other people like screenshot, whatever, an article and whatnot. Yeah, okay. But seriously, then don't use social media. You're a millionaire, billionaire. Just go away. Delete all social media. Leave us alone. Have a happy life. Enjoy. I bet Kendall Jenner wouldn't be able to live 3 days without social media. One day, probably tough. Second day, she's probably going to be like, let me check my social media. Oh, that boils my blood. That social media stars, oh God, saying that they complain about social media. The internet is mean to me. Give me money. Oh God, Kendall Jenner, seriously. Okay, let's move on. That was the gossip part of today's podcast. Let me say Kendall Jenner one more time for the algorithm. Kendall Jenner. Okay. Other tech or media news. What I quite like that Samsung came out, said now our blockchain wallets support third-party hardware wallets, which is nice. So making things a bit safer and more secure, which is cool. Thank you, Samsung. I'm gonna try this ASAP. And I also read lots of stuff again about NFTs, and I want to have this discussion. Maybe it's also a discussion I should have on Clubhouse with like some live interaction, because I still think that there is potential for NFTs that we didn't look into. It's for example, NFTs for education. There must be a case to make. Now, NFTs for media, for journalism, for all kinds of media content, media creation. I think NFTs could play a huge role in this. And I'm not the only one. Gary Vaynerchuk agrees. He says NFT is the next big thing, and he compares NFTs to what Amazon was back then when Amazon just started. And that's why he started VeeFriends.com. So first I thought, and I joined it, is it on Discord or whatever, like they have a channel, then I joined this channel. They're like, yeah, VeeFriends starting now, join here for like, I don't know, discounts or whatnot. And VeeFriends is basically a collection of cards, digital artwork by Gary Vee, and you can basically just sell and resell those art. You can sell the NFTs for the art that Gary Vee created by himself. Exactly. So I was excited. I'm like, oh God, Gary Vee planned something with NFTs. That's going to be big. And then it dropped, and I checked out VeeFriends.com, and I was not impressed. If you're also watching the MMA Monday here with me, Gary Vaynerchuk, I was not impressed with your performance. Yeah. Let me know what you think about VeeFriends. Is it a cool thing to do? Maybe I just don't get it, but I was a bit disappointed by seeing that it's basically just stuff that he creates and you can just trade those things. And if you buy the NFTs for his artwork, you get like benefits of like access to like his super conference and whatnot. Yeah, cool, but that doesn't need to be an NFT, does it? Things that don't need to be but still happen. China landed on Mars. They just confirmed yesterday that they now landed on Mars. So congratulations, China. Now we have China and America on the Mars. Nice. Race to the Mars. Well, interesting. Speaking of things that Elon Musk doesn't like, China on Mars, Bitcoin. Got this past week, Elon Musk, right? First of all, his Saturday Night Live appearance, cringe-worthy, awkward, but that's why I liked it. That shows that, and he basically admitted that he's got like Asperger's, so heads off to Elon Musk. But it's also, I liked it that you can see that he's really uncomfortable and still does it. It's like, he knows it's going to suck. He knows it's going to be weird, but he still does it. And I like this. It's like, hey, cool. If he does it, then other people can feel like maybe more comfortable too in their skin. Then his hate on Bitcoin, because 2 months ago they said they're going to accept Bitcoin for Tesla payments. Right now, they're like, we don't do it anymore because I just realized that Bitcoin takes lots of energy to process. No, you don't say. Meme here, you don't say. But you just realized this now. Smartest man on the planet just realized that right now. You're a liar. And now he also tweeted that he's now working with the Dogecoin developers or something to make this more feasible or whatever. So now Doge to the moon again. Oh God, Elon. Then tomorrow is gonna. He tweeted about Shiba also. Like, hey, I'm looking for some Shiba puppies. I mean, he clearly enjoys the trolling by now, and everybody's jumping on it. Oh God, it's a bit too much right now. It's a bit too much Elon for me these days. Of course, after his tweet like that he works with Doge developers, Dogecoin rallied again. Also, Coinbase is listing Dogecoin now, about to list it, I believe. So if Coinbase does it right, they only took like 4 months to start or something to catch on to the trend. Mm-hmm. Elon, too much Elon for me this week, to be honest. I liked him like once a week or so, but like every day Elon news, I don't need that. Too much Elon. Elon, go back at work. China is on Mars right now. Do something. Send something else to Mars. Let's go. Nuke Mars. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt that he's wearing. It was a joke, right? He says on his shirt, Nuke Mars. So just saying. Besides NFTs and crypto being crazy this week, Bumble shares, and I found just an interesting piece of information. Bumble shares fell after first quarter reports. They dipped now below the IPO price. So Bumble is like this super successful dating app, women-led, right, by a female founder who got bullied out of Tinder, I believe. So it was like this success story, and now it's like Bumble is tumbling a little bit. Let's see where it goes. I read an interview with her. She said she still sees another spike in interaction right now, even now that people get vaccinated and maybe have like offline dates again. How does this feel, by the way? But yeah, let's see where this goes. Do you have Bumble shares, or are you all in Shiba Inu or Dogecoin by now, or in whatever other fantastic shitcoin you are investing? Let me know. Speaking of Clubhouse, I mentioned a few times Clubhouse today. So I had my first Clubhouse talk actually yesterday, which was kind of interesting. Thanks for everyone for joining. We talked about like media development, media trends, and so on, media degrees, what to do with your degree, how life after uni, and so on. It was pretty interesting. So thanks to everybody for joining and for sharing. Discord now said, hey, Clubhouse, you don't have enough competitors already. There's Spotify, there's Twitter Spaces, there's Reddit AMA, there's everything. We also have chat now, audio chat. So Discord now also moves towards audio chats. Congratulations to more competition in the game. Nice. Remember last week when I said that the top app in the App Store was Coinbase and Binance and whatnot. Now the top app in the US App Store is Gas Buddy, because Gas Buddy shows you where you can get gas, because you know it by now maybe that in the US gas shortage. Apparently a hacker group, I forgot the name, hacker group from Russia hacked the gas pipeline system or whatever, shut it down and tried to get some money in order to let it run again. And now people going crazy. You can see in the news people punching each other on gas stations and so on. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's not funny for the people who need gas, I'm sorry, but like those, it's like end of day, like the apocalypse happening. Crazy. And they even apologized. This group said, like, we didn't mean to disrupt the society. We just wanted to get some money from the government or from the companies that run the pipelines. So we didn't mean. We're so sorry. Kind of nice bad guys. I forgot to mention when we talk crypto, by the way, Facebook. Remember Facebook? Facebook came out with Libra like 2 years ago, so right, and lots of backlash. They know Facebook, crypto, oh god, Facebook gonna run everything. Let's maybe not do this. Maybe it's a bad idea, and so on. And now they renamed that some time ago into Diem. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. DIEM, and they tried to get a license in Switzerland, but now they abandoned it. Apparently, it's too complicated to get like a license like in Switzerland. So now they moved all their business to the US because apparently it's easier to get some sign-offs from like regulators in the US than in Switzerland. So very interesting move. The fact that they tried it in Switzerland, I'm not sure what it tells us about this. It's something to hide, but now they tried in the US. Speaking of Facebook, they had a bid to block a potential major change in the UI data sharing law. So the court in Ireland said they have a new data privacy law basically, and Facebook tried to block that. Said like, hey, that's not cool. Can you maybe not have that law? And the court in Ireland said like, no, Facebook, suck it. Privacy first. We don't care about your data flow and so on. Yeah, but the data flow between like Europe and the US. So they have to adhere to European laws. And yeah, since we're at Facebook right now, and then we're almost at the end already, Facebook also right now has a problem with like people, those if you're still on Facebook, the Facebook picture, you have like Facebook picture frames if you want to like, support Myanmar, that's what I have, for example, but others have like vaccinated or anti-vaccine. There are anti-vaccine frames right now, and Facebook is removing anti-vaccine profile picture frames right now. So if you have an anti-vaccine profile picture frame, Facebook's going to try to remove it, block it, whatever. Very interesting. Freedom of speech, right here, right there. Fantastic. I am pro-vaccine if it's a vaccine that you're happy with and that you trust. But I just find it interesting that they even block pictures that say, I don't want a vaccine. Yeah, is this Facebook place to do so? But again, that's the freedom of speech versus censorship and wokeness and political correctness and so on. We talk about this every time. We will talk about this also on Clubhouse. Join my next Clubhouse. All right, lastly, just the most important news of today that I wanted to share is Walmart confirmed they are still selling Pokemon cards. There are still physical Pokemon cards that you can buy out there. Isn't it awesome? Thank you, The Verge, for this breaking story that I read on The Verge. Thank you very much. I can sleep much better now knowing that Walmart still sells Pikachu Pokemon cards. All right, on this very important news piece, I'll end the podcast. Let me know where you buy your Pokemon cards, what you saw in the media, what bothered you, what interests you, what you want to have to discuss. Shout out in social media, comments, ratings, via email, funkitpod@gmail.com. Until then, stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you soon.